Hello, good people, and welcome to the Amateur Hour. My name's Justin.
My name's Tyler.
And we're back after lovely 2 episodes. I hope you guys have been having a wonderful time with your holidays this December, because this is a wonderful holiday episode, and I hope you guys are having some wintry fun. You got sledding going on. I mean, it's probably snowing right now. You're snowed out. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? You don't know how to drive on the roads because it's all slippery. If you're younger and you don't have a license, well, then sucks for you. So, it's just it's been a wonderful, happy holidays, and with the holidays comes holiday shopping. And as we all know, holiday shopping can get mighty crazy this time of year, and especially around this COVID. I mean, what can we say? That's all I'm going to say about that, all right? Either way, crazy holiday shopping. With that, it comes our own stories and our own things that we go through. And I kind of got a story about a little bit of a crazy holiday shopping. More of my own craziness as opposed to other people. And I'd love to tell you guys a story. So one Christmas bright morning day. No, I'm just kidding. So recently, I was given, some Christmas money, and that was, and I was told, hey, go get yourself a lovely new Christmas gift. And I chose to get the Xbox Series S for my holiday gift, and I was super excited. I was ready. I said, you know what? I can't wait to get this new console, this next gen. Started calling stores, and I thought there would be a ton of Series S's because a lot of people don't like to buy up the Series S because it's tiny. It's all digital. You don't have a disc tray. Little Johnny doesn't want a video game system without a disc tray because you know what? He likes to play his old 360 games. But not all about Little Johnny, okay? Anyway, I was calling around a bunch of places. Couldn't find, hey, do you have a Series S? No. Do you have a Series S? No. Do you have a Series? I called for 3 towns. Nothing. And you would think that with a Series S, like, you would find something. Nothing. So finally, I end up calling around an old area I used to work at, the St. John area out in Indiana, and they had one on hand, both in the Target and the GameStop, which are next to each other relatively. What the GameStop is like, if you're in a car, like 2 minutes away. So it's not even that long.
And then he took all the time to go there, and someone bought it right before he walked in.
So I drove all the way over there. I get there, all excited, at Target. I figured, who's going to buy an Xbox at Target? And then I talked to the guy. 20 minutes later, someone buys a Series S. 20 minutes later. Can you believe it? Tyler just spoiled it. So I was like, okay, this console's not here. It's kind of annoying. The guy says, you know what? We just sold the last one on the floor. I'm going to check the stock room for you. He goes back. Checks the stock room for like 20 mother freaking minutes. I'm sitting there. I'm sweating. I'm like, dude, give me the mother freaking Series S right now, or I'm gonna have to freaking walk away and cry. And so I was sitting there, and then this couple comes up right next to me and asks the other sales associate over in electronics, and they say, hey, you got any Xboxes, Series X or S? And the guy's like, no, they normally fly off within the hour of the shelf. People buy them up. It's holiday season, as well as people just have been buying up these Xboxes. And the couple then proceeds to, well, the man, he proceeds to ask her. He's like, so he's like, is there going to be any more, Xboxes in? Are you going to get an X truck? Whatever, like going through the whole spiel, right? Shakedown of the employee. And they're like, no, we do not have any Xbox Series S's, but your next bet would probably be to go to GameStop. As soon as he said that, I started running to my car. I said, screw these people. They're not getting that last Xbox in GameStop. I ended up calling GameStop too just before I started running. They said we got one on hand, and I said I'm coming. And I hang up the phone and I start running. I said, screw these people. I'm not gonna let them get it first. I start speeding for a 2 minute
Okay,
drive.
so I'm just wondering the way you just said that. I'm just picturing I can't remember what movie it's from, but when they're like, we only have one left, and the one guy starts running, and then the other couple starts running, and they're racing for it. Like there's Justin in the middle of the target right now.
Dude, it reminds me of the scene from oh gosh, I can't remember the movie, but when they're going after the honey ham, and the moms are
Christmas with the
rushing
Cranks,
after
I
it.
think.
Yes, running after the honey ham, and they're fighting over it, and then she gets it, and it gets ran over by a truck.
The Christmas with the Cranks, Jingle All the Way, whichever movie you're thinking of. It was pretty much like that. Like I was not about to let somebody get this Xbox Series X. I kid you not. I literally was running in the store. I was like, I'm out of here because the guy just the employee just told him it was like, hey, just go to GameStop. I'm like, no, I'm getting it first. And I figured, well, 20 minutes and somebody just bought it up. I gotta go. And so I ended up running, speed all the way to GameStop, park in a handicap's parking. You know, like the handicap where it doesn't allow you to park there, and it's got like the little lines on it, right? Like all the way through. It's actually like it's like right in front of the ramp is where I parked. So I parked right there, and right behind me was a cop car, and the cop sitting in his car. Lucky thing he's looking down at his phone or something. I didn't care at the time. I was just like, screw it, I'm going in. I go in. I tell the GameStop employee, I said, you have an Xbox? He's like, yes. I was like, Series S? He's like, yes. I said, okay, can I have it? And then he's like, yes. And then he starts running through, well, you want to buy a GameStop rewards, or you want the warranty? And I'm like, just give me the damn thing.
Xbox in my hand.
I said, just give me, put it in the bag.
Put it in the bag and can't let me out of here.
So he puts it in the bag, and long story short, I got the Series X or Series S, and I got a ticket from the cop for parking in a handicapped spot. So yeah, it was great. No, I'm just kidding. No, no, I didn't. But I was scared I was going to, because again, I was in a little crosswalk thing in the handicap, and the cop wasn't looking.
If I get this ticket, I can no longer afford this Xbox.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta return the Xbox if I get a ticket. So, but yeah, and I guess where this story is leading up to is I want to give my review for those of you who are scared to dive into the Series S, because normally the Series S isn't bought up. People don't really care about it. It doesn't get enough attention. And I have to say that so far I've downloaded a couple games. I could tell you the games I played on. I played Fortnite Chapter 3. I played some Battlefield 2042 and the next gen graphics, and I could confidently say that it is a fantastic Xbox. The quality on this thing is next to PC level, right? Like, we went over the specs several times on the podcast episodes. If you haven't heard that or seen any of the specs, probably go over to our season 2 and listen back to a couple of our episodes where we discuss and run the specs between the Series X and the Series S. But I could confidently say, in terms of the Series S, that thing, like, the new fan system that they kind of were super happy about, Tyler, in terms of like both the Series X and the Series S, they have a new wave which they kind of, cool their Xboxes down. And can I say that works? It's insane. So like the Xbox Series S has a fan similar to the Series X on top, and on the side vents, right? It's like pulling in the cool air, and the heat is being relieved or alleviated off the top of the Xbox. And that thing it works. The Xbox isn't cold. Even the fan, like the air that is pulling out, isn't so heated. And I was on this Xbox for you know me, I could game for hours. I was sitting on it a couple hours enjoying some gameplay of next gen quality stuff, and the thing is running quiet and it's not running extra hot. So I could confidently say that that runs well. The thing is genuinely a size of a book. It's no bigger than my forearm, no longer than that.
Pretty small.
Yeah,
Pretty
and the
small.
width is barely the width of my full length from the bottom of my palm to the tip of my middle finger. That's the width. It's like nothing. It's a tiny little Xbox. Um, so I could definitely say that in terms of storing, in terms of how light it is, I think for those of you looking for a console and you're gonna take to your friend's house, or you're gonna take it anywhere else. I sleep over my girlfriend's house quite a bit, and anytime I go over, I'm lugging around this. Back then, when I had the One X, I was lugging around the One X, and it's heavy, it's clunky. You know, depending on what bag you have, I have like this over the shoulder like side bag where it's just smacking the side of my my genuine side of, or the side of my leg. And so now having this Series S, I'm gonna be able to carry that no problem. It's not any extra weight. It's not too clunky. It's nothing. It's absolutely fantastic to utilize, and I think it's extremely portable. And I think it's very cool. It would fit if I just carried a book bag. It'll fit in my little book bag, and I'll be able to close it, lug it around really easily. So, in terms of those people looking to step into a Series S for the portability, fantastic. The way it runs its consoles or its games, really great. Now, the thing I hate about the Series S, I could get into that pretty quickly. Storage size. 512 gigs is not a lot. For the price that you're getting, regardless if it's 300 or not, I think you should have gotten a terabyte of space.
500 gigs for any gaming anything today. I mean, if you had a 500 gig Switch, I feel like you could fill it.
Yeah.
So an Xbox, like no. Let's see. Um, Ghost Recon, 100 gigs. GTA, 100 plus gigs. All the new Warzone crap, does that take up a lot of space?
200 gigs.
Well,
Yeah, so you're full.
Yeah.
yeah, so I could tell you that, and when you get the console, right, you never get the exact amount of 512, right, because you got the software updates, all this stuff. So you technically only have, and I have the exact number, 336 gigs.
Oh my gosh, the software is that much?
Yeah, it was. I was like, "What is this?" So, in terms of you were saying, Tyler, like with some of the games, believe it or not, the XS versions of these video games are optimized for less gigs. This is something that surprised me. So you're talking about over here. You were saying that Ghost Recon can go up to 100 gigs. On these XS versions, it's only 70 something gigs. No Man's Sky, only 14 gigs. So you have actually these XS versions which are highly optimized for being able to download without this huge gig package. And I thought that it was gonna like be a lot more, or like, you know, Rogue Company was only, I think it was like 12, 15 gigs, like that. Again, like, so I was able to actually store quite a bit of games that I really wanted to run, you know, at its optimal speed and pace. Their XS versions for a lot less than I would have on the Xbox One X. Or the Xbox One S, whichever one you have of the last gen. You would have been downloading those games for quite a bit more. But because some of those games were optimized, you're downloading them for a lot less. Oh, Halo Infinite, the latest Halo, for the multiplayer was only I think it was like 12 gigs. And on the, I believe it was like the, oh man, oh yeah, on the last gen, I believe it was like 20 something gigs. So again, that's like 10 gigs off. And I was very highly surprised about this and to see this running. And I mean, it's a happy surprise, in all honesty.
Mhm.
But it feels really nice to be running at a solid, because of the television that I have doesn't put out 120 hertz, so I'm not getting those 120, or sorry, those 120 frames per second. I'm only getting 60 FPS. But let me tell you something, that 60 FPS is a lot more. You could tell the huge difference between last gen, which is only 30 FPS, is the highest you can get no matter what screen you have. And it feels smoother. It was insane. I had to lower my sensitivity for the video games that I was playing because of how high the refresh rate was. And I wasn't used to a high refresh rate. And yeah, it felt fantastic. What can I
That
say?
would be one thing I'd be curious to try. I'd like to try it on my TV because it has the certified game mode in HDR, 120 hertz, 1440p, and I'd also like to try it on my gaming monitor to see if it can handle an ultra wide monitor because that's a 16 by 10 or actually a 21 by 10. So I'd be curious to see how the Xbox would handle those with the more budget version.
Well, I tell you, I'll be around holiday season. I think after Christmas, I'll probably stop by and we'll test that out. I'll bring it with me and we'll get to test it out. And while bring it with me, because it's so light, I could take it with me now, and we'll be able to play some awesome games. The No Man's Sky was optimized. Tyler, you know how many gigs No Man's Sky was? 18. No Man's Sky. That's a crazy game to be downloading. Only 18 gigs for the XS version. So I've been really happy with this, and we'll test that out. We'll bring it to everybody's attention, and yeah, I think that'll be kind of awesome to revisit this Xbox Series S and tell you guys just how well and this piece of hardware can work on these televisions and give our genuine review. But so far, absolutely fantastic. I would suggest anybody to get that console in that price range. Now, do I still want a Series X? Yes, because again, you still get higher than 1440p. You're guaranteed the 120 FPS. Well, it still again depends on what you connect it to. So that one's not that big of a change. But you get the disc tray. Do I want the disc tray? Yes. I have a lot of games, like older gen games that are 360 or Xbox One, that I
was
do
gonna
have the
ask that.
disc
Does
to.
it still play the 360 games, um, or is it like the older PlayStations where it only went back one generation?
No,
No,
you could play the 360 games on the Series X.
That's
you
awesome.
can play all the way back to 360. I play Black Ops 2
I believe you could
online.
even, as long as it's compatible with uh, the games that they've updated, you could even play Xbox games on there. That's how fantastic Xbox is in general. But so that's part of the reason why I want that disc tray, as well as you get you're gonna get a 4K Blu-ray player as well inside there, and that's also what I want. Now, do I want to buy any regular old Series X? No, I don't want the black body. I don't want. It just seems it's nice, cool, right? Because it's a nice piece of hardware, but it's boring. I want to get the limited edition Halo Xbox Series X. So it's going to take some time, but the Xbox One S is definitely going to hold me over. And for those of you who aren't probably avid gamers but are looking to get into a console, then I'd probably suggest to you Series S, because it's not going to take up too much space, easy to carry, um, it's very quiet, and you're also still going to get that crazy optimization. So I could definitely say that I'm happy where gaming's at. We talked about how it compares to PC, right? PC is always going to be better because there's always going to be better specs and you could always upgrade it. But now I definitely feel like it's very comparable to PC and you're just not going to have any troubles in terms of playing video games.
Hmm. So you said you hate the storage. Was there anything else you didn't like? Because I know that storage would be a pain.
I think storage and the disc tray are probably my
Just
top
right.
two because I do
Yeah.
miss the disc tray. Again, I utilize it quite a bit. But currently, right now, I don't have all my games on hand, and they're all digital, so it works out anyway.
How
Um,
many games were you able to put on it?
so I have 100 gigs left over, and I was able to fit 5 games. So we have Battlefield, we have I have six actually. We have Battlefield. I have Ghost Recon. I have No Man's Sky on there. I also
Fortnite.
have Fortnite Chapter 3, and I have a Dead by Daylight. And all those games were able to fit in there with a whopping about 100 gigs left over. Um, and yeah, it runs fairly smooth.
Bad. Yeah. Yeah,
Have
that
you
was the
ever gone
thing.
on D brand, Justin?
What happened?
Have you ever gone on D brand skins?
No, but I do know that they offer skins where you can
I'll
for
have to
your
check
Xbox.
the website Skin It too because they might do Xbox as well. But I just went on here real quick just to see what they offer, and they have a wood skin, and it just looks funny. It makes the Xbox look like a block of wood, and I can just imagine you carrying that around and just looking funny.
Well,
Like you
Block
just
of
yeah,
wood
the wood
with a
that's
guy.
a
little
nice
black.
little. Would you cut that off a 2x4?
Holding
Yeah.
a 4x8.
So you could also do that with the 1S, and to be honest, if you're trying to kind of make it look nice in your home, and because this can fit in fairly decent areas in your home, uh, I would say that definitely, again, another reason as to why it's good. Now you can buy the expandable SSD. The prices for that is absolutely insane right now. I'd say wait until like this tech
Two.
shortage is over because Austin, I was looking for a 2 terabyte one. It's close to like $500.
I got
It's
a 1 terabyte one. That was the only thing I could find, and it was like 200 something bucks. It's a lot, and
yeah,
I don't see it. Thing is I don't see it going down anytime soon. Not because of the shortage, but because it's an exclusive with Seagate, and so nobody else can make those until that whatever the. It's kind of like when Apple started making the iPhone. AT&T got like exclusivity for like the first 2 years of it or something like that. I think it's that type of situation. So it might be like until the Xbox hits year two before those things there other people are able to start making them and the price goes down.
exactly. And
It's
that
expensive.
way too expensive. I would suggest right now, even if you have a Series X, you're fantastic. But a Series S, what I did is I chose all of the multiplayer games or the games that I want to see in a high, right, like have this high FPS and run at its most optimum in terms of playability. If you're a multiplayer player, you're gonna just download the multiplayer games, right? Like I want to see Battlefield. I want to see, if you're into any of the Call of Duties, I'm sure I would suggest you downloading that onto there. And as long as it's optimized for XS, but if you're a campaign player, then yeah, just download those campaign video games. I'm sure there's more than enough space, but only the ones that are the XS versions. And then I have a 2 terabyte hard drive that's a normal one, right? You're not going to get the crazy optimization that you would on the console itself or the SSD, but you're still going to get really good graphics, and I'm sure that it could still hit a pretty high FPS with this Xbox. So I downloaded any of the versions of the XS games or that aren't XS games, like Call of Duty Warzone, for example. I downloaded that onto my hard drive and not on my actual, or my external, not on my actual internal hard drive. Because I'm like, you know what? This is a game. It's not even optimized for the Series X, which we should probably talk about in a sec. And yeah, I don't really care to play something that is not optimized for the XS on the XS and download it on my internal storage. So in terms of all that, yeah, I think that would be my suggestion. But it's a good console. That is my review. It runs phenomenally. It's quiet. It doesn't run very hot, and you're gonna get some high quality gaming. I was getting used to now playing at such a high frame rate. Like, it was insane.
It's really nice. It's nice. Definitely when I first switched my Series X, it was a nice change. And once you get a monitor to pair with it that has it's like 144 hertz, it makes it really, really nice.
Yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait for that moment. But with that said, I mean, it's a perfect transition for the new and improved. I talked about Fortnite. I had mentioned Fortnite Chapter 3 and the new in Warzone, right? We have a new map for Warzone, and we have a new map for Fortnite Chapter 3. Now, I could be the only one who speaks on Fortnite currently, until I play with good old Austy here. But Fortnite Chapter 3 is a very nice refresher for those of you who aren't into Fortnite or used to play Fortnite back in the day. I think Fortnite right now is at a very optimal position in terms of gameplay. You're going to have a lot of fun. They're speeding up what it seems like the gameplay of it just a tad in the right way, and not in like where you're zipping around and it's like super sweaty, super fast. Like, no, it's like you're zipping around in terms of movement around the map, but when you're getting in fights, it still feels very fluid. Nothing OP, nothing crazy. But there's a lot of new updates to that probably we'll talk about a little bit more about those details once Austin plays. But at least right now, my review of Fortnite Chapter 3 is, if you're an old Fortnite player and you used to play quite a bit and quite often, I'd suggest giving this new Fortnite update a try. It's just, they added a lot of new features that are going to be very nice for you. And they changed up the map very similarly to the original map of Fortnite in certain aspects. So you probably would enjoy it if you are only an avid fan of the older map. And it also gives you something new, something fresh. It'll also probably help you get excited that they're utilizing the new Unreal Engine, which is Unreal Engine 5, which now is going to allow them to play and utilize now, because they're going to update this. I don't know how fairly soon, but they're going to have weather systems similar to Battlefield 2042 with tornadoes in the middle of the match. You're going to have lightning and all this other stuff coming soon to this new season. So that my review with that, fantastic. Download it, give it a try. I'm sure you won't be disappointed. And yeah, I can't wait to play that with Austin. We'll give you a little bit more of our take when Austin plays it. Now, a game that both me and Austin have played, not together, but have played, is this new Warzone map. You know, something that we've talked about a while back in the podcast. And again, if you go back to season 2, go back to I think even in season 1 I was playing, but Asti came here in season 2, and we talked about a lot in season 2, and probably earlier in this season. So if I were you guys, go check out those episodes. We're available on 5 different platforms. Link in the bio. Just click our link tree, or yeah, I said bio, and our description. But the Warzone map is something we wanted. We wanted anti-cheat, and we wanted a fresh map. Anti-cheat's still not here. It's in Asia, but it's not in the States. We do not have the anti-cheat up yet. So that is a little bit that's annoying. But the new map. Let's talk about the new freaking map. I could tell you something on the One X. When I did play it on the One X, it's very like, the brightness setting on your console. Turn that all the way up. And you know how when a game looks super washed out when you turn up the brightness like crazy? That's what it looks like when I played it on the One X.
Yes.
Absolutely trash. Like, I was like, what the freaking washed out? I haven't tried it on the Series S just yet. But trust me, I will, and I'll give you guys my review on that. But on the One X, it's horrible. If you're playing it on the Xbox One, I am so sorry. It is the most washed out mother freaking looking thing in my entire life. It is that bright. I don't know what they did, but it
There may
genuinely
be a
looks
fix for
washed
that.
out.
There
I
may
think
be a fix for that, and I don't know if Xboxes allow you to change certain settings. But on PC, because the new Xboxes have like ray tracing support and everything, if you turn your brightness all the way up with ray tracing on, you get a lot of washed out stuff because of the reflection and all that. So if you have the option of turning ray tracing off, your high brightness might look a lot better. But
mhm.
I don't know if the Xboxes have that option.
I,
I
I
I will say if you turn your brightness down from where it's at now, it'll make it look better. But I think it's intentional because it's Pacific. It's supposed to be like this, in the Pacific, the sun's beating down in the middle of the
yeah,
ocean. Like I think it's supposed to be really bright. Uh,
and that's just fine
yeah.
because I've seen gameplay on the PC, right? Or I haven't quite checked it out again on the newer versions. But on the I'm talking about this Xbox One gen. I feel very sorry for you. I'm assuming the PS5 or PS4, sorry, is just the same too. Um, Unfortunately, it is just way too bright, and it just looks washed out. I tried it on a different TV, and it just looks the same as well. And I didn't touch my brightness setting. I've been having it the same, and I've played Warzone maps or like multiplayer maps that are bright. Um, and I never had this washed out look, so I don't know why that is in terms of it probably is what Tyler's saying, but again, it looks super washed out. So first impression in terms of on the old gen, it's kind of rough. But now playing it, because right now it's a limited time mode, is where it's just only Vanguard mode, and you could only play with utilizing World War II weapons. Um, and my take on it is that it's actually very fun. I do like that limited time mode. It's really cool because it's fresh, right? You're playing with World War II weapons. And to be honest, since it's fairly new, not everybody actually bought up Vanguard. So not everyone's rocking these fully kitted ARs or sniper rifles or any fully kitted, weapon. Because too, it also all those weapons go up to level 70 now. So there's a lot of attachments they need to utilize. So I'm not getting beamed or killed right away or fully destroyed. I do enjoy. It's very rocky. You can mantle over a lot of stuff. But we're talking about this Vanguard mode. Vanguard mode, really cool. Going back to they also are offering the normal version of Battle Royale, but only for quads currently. And when I ran back and I played that, I have to say that it was okay. It was all right. In terms of the map itself, they added these planes. You can get the original vehicles back when you play the battle royale. So, but when you play the World War II version, you're only getting what are you only? Oh, you're only getting like the jeeps and stuff of the World War II era, which offers a lot of you being shot out of the vehicle fairly quickly. So vehicles aren't really the best thing to be riding around in. Um,
Hmm.
but again, going back to the original version, it's actually kind of fun being able to ride in those vehicles and play in those vehicles. It feels like good old Warzone. So now the map feels very big, very lush, very bright, which is a good counterpart to what what's it called? Not Vanguard. What's this?
Verdansk.
Yeah, Verdansk map was. The Verdansk map was very dark, very dreary. It was easy to just plop on the darkest skin you have, and just hide. You're crouching in these dark corners, you're being playing like a pansy, so to speak. And that wasn't fun, right? Like you had the rose skin was the best skin in the whole game because you couldn't see them. But now you have such a bright map, you can see anything, everybody. There are some certain dark corners, but not a lot. The game offers enough push for you to be able to be mobile throughout the. You don't want to sit in one spot. You kind of want to move around. There's a lot of third party going on. Anytime you get into a fight, since it's so open and so wide, yeah, there's a lot of foliage and other stuff, but you're still very open. There's not a lot of cover areas for you to hide. And sometimes, though, this foliage still kind of makes it difficult to engage in battles because you're shooting like bushes and trees and you can't see through them sometimes. So that is a little bit annoying in terms of the fighting. But I mean, it's a good refresher. I think they still need the anti cheat. I'm kind of annoyed that it's not out yet. But we're not seeing a lot of cheaters. Perhaps they released the anti cheat in Asia because the hacking was probably pretty rampant out there, more than what it is out here. Um, Either way, I want it for safe measures. At the end of the day, and then I'm going to turn this over to Austin's review of it. Warzone to me, as much as I used to love it, feels washed out. I think it's a too little too late type of thing where I got too burnt out on Verdansk. I played for practically 2 years on this Warzone map, on the same one, and it killed my interest very, very hardcore, as well as all these meta weapons that they had, because Cold War offered up the most broken guns that we've had in Warzone. Right now, the Vanguard weapons are fairly balanced, and at least now, at this time, they have Raven Software, which is hopefully going to be on the ball with focusing on making sure that these guns aren't ever going to be that Cold War status again. And yeah, the meta is just it killed it for me. The hacking killed it for me. So Warzone for me, it's kind of washed out. It bores me after a couple of. I played like maybe 6 rounds. I used to spend all day on it. I could play like 6 rounds, which is about like close to like 2-3 hours, and I'm over it. Even that kind of feels like a bit much for me. So I play a couple of that, and then I dip and I play another game. Unfortunately, Warzone
I
for
think
me has just lost its
explained you.
flair. Go ahead, Tyler.
I think you've explained me for the entire time of its existence. I could
Yeah,
just never do the sweaty games and the repetitive. I mean, I don't know. That's just not my game type. But yeah, so
I
you
mean,
pretty much just took my experience and summed it up the entire time it existed.
see, when I want to play competitive though, I go to a battle royale, and that's what I love, right? Like, there's no better feeling for me personally when I'm playing a video game, especially against 100 or however many other players, and coming out as the victor, number one, especially with a high kill game, or high kill in terms of like average kills, which can be like high kills like 11, 10, right, 12. um because pro players get like 20 up on up. So I mean, but you're getting like a high kill game, or a high kill game for you, or a game where you just feel like there was flow. Even if you had 5 kills and you're coming out on the top, the battle royale it's just super rewarding to get that victory, no matter how many times you play, because it's like
Yeah.
it's a longer version of a regular multiplayer match, essentially. And it's almost like when you're out, you're out, and if your team can't like pull together and you can't flow together, it's not gonna work. So it's just
I
super
think for
rewarding.
me, I would have to try it again. Because Fortnite came out, and that was one of the games I was like, you know what? That actually looks like a really cool game, and I just couldn't handle the crowd playing it. And now I want to try it again with the new game engine and a little bit more interactive. But the reason I like the Fortnite thing is because they had more than just running around shooting each other. You could build, your fort. in your poster. Like if you were playing with a team or whatever, you could hold your ground. There was just more that you could do in the game. And then it just got to the point where I just put it down because, like I said, I couldn't deal with the crowd. The crowd for me, I'm just, if you're not mature enough for the game, don't play the game, but nobody understands that.
Yeah.
So, but
And
then the Warzone and PUBG, I did try those. My cousin tried to get me into them a little bit, and it was just like, no, this is, you go in, you're running for 30 seconds. Okay, now you're waiting for another match. Like, yeah, I could have played more and got better of it and got longer lasting. It's just it felt like there was nothing for me to do in the game except run, find a gun, shoot someone, run. Oh, look at that, a better gun. Oh, a piece of armor. It just none of it really appealed me. So I don't know. I feel like I have to try it again, maybe with the new Fortnite, with the new game engine and everything. But it's just not my game type. So I don't know. I just never got into it. And I'm always wondering, like, how do people get into this so much? Like, I can't do it. And I'm like, why don't I like this? It's supposed to be the game of the year or so much fun to play, some crap like that.
yeah, I mean, a lot. I guess you really have to be into a competitive sort of nature in that, and not just that, because to play
That,
Fortnite, you
I
don't
also
really
play
have to
a game
be
for a story.
competitive, which is why I like it. But I just know in general, I for you mainly, you do like more campaign-driven games over multiplayer. So that could possibly be it too, right? Like if you're definitely not a avid multiplayer gamer, these video games
Well,
such
and that's
as
the thing. When I play a game, I'm looking for the story of the game. There's I'm one of the guys. I have to play it in 4K. I have to see the detail in the map. All that stuff has to be like cranked and everything, so I'm like fully immersed. And you just don't really get as much of that in the battle royale types, in my opinion. But then, like, I don't know. I always circle back to the co-op game style, where that one's a lot more fun, which is why I kind of want to revisit Fortnite because Fortnite has the new game engine, and they do have a little bit of story background if you follow the game like you should.
oh yeah.
And I just feel like if you're playing in like the teams and stuff, I could probably enjoy that game more, especially with all the more interaction with the new map and everything. So I don't know. I might give it another try.
I tell you what, if you give it another try, I'll be right there next to you playing that game because I absolutely love it. And if you play it too, there's also, if you're not into that, there's Fortnite Save the World, which is the campaign of the Fortnite. So if you ever get into that, Tyler, let me know because I never have anyone to play that with, and I absolutely find that fun. New update too. The when you complete a level in Fortnite, it gives you XP for the battle pass. Now, before it used to not do that. The campaign wasn't tied in terms of XP towards the battle pass of the battle royale, but now it is. But
Mhm.
either way, I'm gonna turn this over to Austin in terms of Warzone and give him his chance to speak and give his review on this new map.
I'm gonna be honest. I think it's awful map. I don't like it at all. I think it's way too open. Um, the coloring is way off. Like I agree with you. It's so funny that you're being relatively positive about it. We've like swapped positions because like last when I was defending Verdansk, you were like, nah, man, it sucks. We need to do something new. Now I'm like, this sucks. This map reminds me of just in terms of the way Warzone's gone. So we were talking about Fortnite a little bit, so I could connect it a little bit. Um, Reminds me of whenever Fortnite started to lose a little bit of its steam, and so they started putting in a little bit of like gimmicks, like when they like the little winter themed in the corner, and they brought in like the airplanes and stuff. Because on the limited time mode, you can buy airplanes. Um, then they like added all these other different when they started adding vehicles and stuff. Just seems like Warzone is like reaching like Fortnite was back then to try to because they're like, oh, we're getting stale. We need to reach, and I think they're reaching too far, like Fortnite did. Um, and it just reminds me so much of it too because like everybody was clamoring for a new map for Fortnite, and then we got that new map, and it basically killed the game in a sense because everybody was still playing, but they were still complaining. But once that new map came out, people just kind of lost interest. Right now, like this new map is just not good. It's just not good in my eyes. Like, there's just too much openness. It seems like the storm goes way faster than it used to. I could be wrong, but it seems like the first storm is super duper fast now.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Are we talking about the Fortnite map or the
Warzone.
Warzone?
Warzone.
Oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, you're not making any sense. I'm looking at this and I'm lost.
No,
Yeah, because I'm looking at the
Warzone.
wrong thing. Okay. Carry on.
Yeah, I feel like Storm first round goes much faster. Also, like one of the things that's kind of weird, and I feel like I think I understand why they did it, but I think in a lot of ways it kind of ruins the pace a little bit. Is now you can't buy your loadout until after first loadout drops, and so if you go to like if you up somewhere, get in quick fight, a lot of money, you basically just have to sit there and wait before you can buy a loadout. It kind of like ruins the pace a little bit. Um, the we were talking about like the guns. The guns, they just don't like. It seems like, especially in the limited time mode, they have like way more kick than any other guns. They have way more kick than any of like the Modern Warfare guns or anything. So like, if you go in and play regular mode that has all the guns, those Vanguard guns are like almost unusable until you've got them like all the way leveled up, and even then, there's like maybe one, two max that are like possible to use. In terms of like cheating, I haven't run into anything too crazy. The thing I've noticed is it seems that a lot of people, I think that the anti-cheat, like you said, they dropped it in Asia. I think it worked probably really well for aimbotters. Wall hacking, I don't believe it worked for, because that's what I've run into is a lot of people wall hacking.
Well, again, it was just for Asia, so it's
Yeah.
not in the States. We do not have it, and nor does Europe have it.
Yeah.
Literally
So-
just Asia.
Well, but the thing about it is now with VPNs, a lot of people can just VPN out of regions. So I just think that if they haven't, even if they haven't, like I haven't run into any aimbotters, but I think that it's probably not going to work on wall hackers because that's one of the hardest cheats to like prove that somebody's doing. Yeah, I just think it's just not that fun. It's like it was like fun the first two or so, and then once you played it a few times, it just kind of gets old. It's just not. It's not as good as the old map was, as sad as that is to say, because the old map at least there was like certain open areas, and the pace of the old map was pretty good. Like third partying obviously was a thing, but wasn't as big of a thing. I'm not a fan. I mean I didn't really care for Warzone that crazy anyways, but yeah, it's not that great in my eyes. I think they could have done better. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's just kind of how I feel about it. Not as big a fan as I was of the old map.
You got
If I knew we were going to bring this up, I would have asked for my cousin's opinion, the Warzone streamer, because he probably knows all the ins and out more than any of us.
you do you do definitely have the you have two avid gamers that have played Warzone, and you have our personal opinions on the new Warzone map. If you guys have any personal opinions, leave it in the comments below of how you feel. How's Fortnite Chapter 3? How do you feel Warzone is? Again, for me, I agree with Austin. I think for me it's too little too late. It's regardless even of the map. For me, I kind of burnt out of Warzone by Cold War. After like that DMR meta, my brain melted every time I played Warzone. And I was always extra angry at Warzone than when I play any other multiplayer in my whole life. So I'm just like, you know what? I think pretty soon, excuse me, I think pretty soon I'll be hanging up the Warzone hat and calling the quits and just saying, I got my 117 wins. I got my 1.0 KD, which is an average gamer. And that's it for me. Anyway, the game has sort of became so sweaty, and this will probably say for a bit of the second half of something. But I mean, oftentimes we do talk about how sweaty video games have become, and it's even kind of ruining Halo for me, but we'll talk about that probably in the second half. We do have to go to break because we're like 20 minutes over, and we only have 10 minutes left for the rest of this podcast. So we're going to go to break real quick. I hope you guys are enjoying this holiday episode so far. We're just keeping it fairly light, a lot of opinionated stuff. We'll just probably keep newsworthy stuff a little bit for our next episode. I hope you guys are having a happy holidays. Please stay tuned for the rest of the episode. May go for a little bit longer. So, yeah.
Enjoy high-octane gaming with the Grim Reaper live on Twitch. Watch the Reaper as he plays through a plethora of game titles, such as Call of Duty Warzone, Call of Duty Zombies, Valorant, Minecraft, and more. Join him as he competes against high competition in COD Warzone tournaments for large cash prizes. You can catch the Grim Reaper streaming Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, 6 to 11 p.m. CDT. Just search twitch.tv/The Grim Reaper. Link in the bio. Looking for a fun new way to eat popcorn? Then I have the place for you. Kelly's Kernels has 68 flavors to choose from. Try out their delicious birthday cake flavor or their cheesy cheddary flavor. If you want to go classic, the Chicago style flavor is for you. Either way, you have a wide variety of flavors to choose from. But that's not all. They offer other treats such as shaved ice, cotton candy, and mini melts. Be sure to enjoy the dine-in experience and bring the whole family. So come on down to Kelly's Kernels, where it's always poppin'. Located at 13226 Lincoln Plaza Way, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Link in the bio. And we're back from that word from our sponsors. I hope you guys enjoyed for the holiday seasons. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Christmas. I believe this comes out on Christmas. It's on a Friday. So I hope you guys are having a spectacular Christmas, holiday season, winter. I hope I know it's way back, but I hope your guys' Thanksgivings went well, just because we did not post really any episodes past Thanksgiving or mid November season. It was just we needed a long break, okay? And I got school. I do not apologize for that. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Had school. And it was a much needed refresher and break. But with that said, I hope your guys' holiday break is going well. I hope everyone is able to have a next-gen console. I hope everybody out there is able to have just a meal in a warm, lovely home and place to sit and enjoy yourself with your family. I hope you're listening to this right now with some hot cocoa. Just some hot cocoa, some sugar cookies, or maybe some warm, fresh chocolate chip cookie.
Unless you're Justin, then he's probably wishing his Xbox Series S did run warmer, and he's probably stringing an extension cord from the neighbor's house.
Yeah, so you're having this a wonderful holiday. I hope you guys are enjoying that. And again, click that link in the description and check all, for this holiday season. What I want you to do, click that description, check all of the people attached to the Amateur Hour. Again, we have BMMB, who's working on some wonderful animations, always putting some new stuff out. His Instagram and Twitter have absolutely been fantastic with new artworks. Please check him out. Hit him up if you got some animation work you want done and stuff like that. I'm sure you guys can talk about some fantastic things. Serious inquiries only, please. And as well as Adam Stone, check his music out. He's been on tour for a couple of months now. Just playing it out, slaying it out as well. I hope you guys will go check his music out. He has a new song out. More, I almost said More Than Friends. It's his old song. Did you know? It's a fantastic song. So please listen to that. And check out our sponsors. You know, for holidays, I'm sure Kelly's Kernels got some wonderful holiday flavors going on. So if I were you guys, please check it out. 68 flavors of popcorn. If you're in the Northwest Indiana area, even if you're not, travel out there. Taking a nice little drive to Northwest Indiana out there. And give them a visit and tell them we sent you. I'm sure they would love to hear it. And go over to the Grim Reaper Gaming on Twitch. If you don't like the Warzone map, it's sure still nice to watch. So if I were you guys, go over to Grim Reaper Gaming on twitch.tv, and he's always playing. So check him out as well. And tell him we sent you as well. Say, hey, yo, listen, I came over from the amateur. I wanted to tell you, good job. But yeah, and make sure you guys are leaving a comment down below. We want to hear from you this holiday season as well. So let's continue with topics. We might have the episode run a little bit longer. We'll see. I want to talk about the Halo game, and so far give my review. I haven't played the campaign just yet, but in terms of multiplayer, because we're getting a lot of new games and a lot of new stuff just flooding the market finally. Or at least new updates. And I did want to talk about the new game at hand, Halo Infinite. The reviews are out. People absolutely love the multiplayer. People are like, oh, Halo's back again. It's super fantastic. And I've been enjoying it too, a little bit. I'll get into why. So, recently, in recent years, games have become more and more sweaty. Now, for those of you who don't know what sweaty is, that just means people like to really, really try at video games their darndest and not play for fun. A lot of times you're seeing people trying to be the next big streamer and the next big thing. And if you're going to be a streamer, you have to be really good, apparently.
Would it be rude if I said we'd like you to join the working class for a little bit of your time again?
Yeah, please come on down to the working class and put all that hard work into working.
Maybe make a paycheck or two.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that one. You know, it's just like everyone's trying to be this next big streamer, the next big thing. And I think that the people who got burnt out of Warzone and all these games now are flooding into my favorite game, Halo, and absolutely ruining it. And what do I mean by that? Well, the game is fun. Its mechanics run well. Its customization is trash. I will say that. Everything's behind a paywall. Granted, it's a free-to-play multiplayer. I don't mind the transactions being held in terms of cosmetics. Make your money. I obviously don't mind that. What I do mind is a super grindy battle pass, and what I do mind is a customization option where you don't even, in a game where you used to get free armor sets and free armor, and now you don't even get not even a little bit free armor that is worth your while, that is, as well as the customizations of color kind of behind the paywall. It's kind of annoying too. So there's a lot of annoying things, especially paying for old helmets and stuff. Like the new season is Halo Reach. I wish that was just in the game and not something you have to pay for. If I'm paying for something, it's going to be new armors and stuff I've never seen before. Like they did add some samurai armors, which look really cool. But again, the pricing for that is a little bit weird. But besides that, honestly, that's the least of my worries. The multiplayer has evolved, and maybe I'm just too old, right? Maybe I don't know. I'm only 24. But maybe I'm too old for gaming now, and maybe this new generation is just more difficult or something. I don't know. But either way, this game that I used to just play regularly and I could lose, I didn't care. I could win, feel great. I could get low kills, have fun, and high kills and have fun. But now it's translated to where I'm just getting demolished every single game. Even when I do get high kills, I'm trying and I have to like sweat to get these high kills in order to win just like once and have fun. And that's not what I want to do to play video games anymore. I just want to sit back and relax. And I know it's something, it's kind of like, people probably don't want me saying beating a dead horse because somebody out there will get offended. But it's like beating a dead tree. Like, you're it doesn't help. I know we keep talking about it and it doesn't help, but it's true. Gaming has translated to something that is so highly competitive that it is very hard to keep up with, and it's very hard to sit back and kind of just mindlessly play and just have fun. Now you have to really put a lot of thought power and a lot of try hard nature into playing these video games, because if not, you're never going to win. And other people on the other team are like extremely trying, even if you're just trying to relax. And I think that's what kills it for me more. I could play a game and again lose, but if the people aren't like trying super hard, and but I don't know, it's hard to explain. So if you feel somebody and the other team is like going really hard in it, it ruins it. Even if it's on your team and somebody's going in really hard for no reason at all, it ruins the game as opposed to just everybody playing at a relaxed nature. So that I have to admit, right? And I think that's just a newer generation. And for me, it ruined Halo. I've only played Halo multiplayer a total of 2 days. That's it. I've only put a couple hours into it because I am bored with to death of the super sweaty nature of things. See, when I play Fortnite, you can run into sweats, but at the same time, and it is kind of competitive, right? It's a battle royale, but Fortnite's a little bit more relaxed than that. I can lose. Sometimes there's people sweating, sometimes there's people not. Like it feels very relaxed to me. But in Halo right now, it is like Sweat City, and maybe it's because these people who are used to playing all these high competitive games got a lemon for Call of Duty. They got a lemon for Warzone. So they're like, you know what, let's go on over to an actual good game. But it's not it for me. I don't know. Austin, how do you feel about that? And have you been playing Halo? Give us your take.
Um, yeah, I this is the first Halo multiplayer I've ever played, and so I'm not very good, anyways. But yeah, it's sweaty, and I mean, I it's just kind of the nature of the beast at this point. Video gaming has it's evolved. It's no longer a casual thing anymore. It's not a casuals playground anymore. It is a means to an end for 90% of these people, or it seems to be. Everybody wants to get on here, like you said, be the next Ifu, or be the next Symphony, or insert famous Twitch streamer, YouTube gaming streamer here, Courage. They just want to be that next big thing. And so everybody's just going super hard. 90% of people are streaming it when they're going super hard too. It's just not as it's not as fun. I don't I think it is a generational thing, and I think we didn't exploding the way it did and giving power to gamers, I guess you would call it, was awesome, but we didn't realize the repercussions that would reverberate through the community when it happened. Because I think that 90% of this falls on the fact that Twitch became so big, and you see all these guys getting these big contracts and stuff. So yeah, it's just very sweaty. I'm not very good at Halo anyways, because like I said, this is my first one. So
I'm so
Just get
sorry that
crapped
this
on.
is your first Halo.
I get crapped on the whole time. I mean, I played all the campaigns and stuff, but yeah, it's tough. I mean, I will say this: you can feel that the mechanics are good. You can feel it. The game itself is good, I think. I would give it. I think it's like probably the best experience, taking out the sweatness of all the games like out right now between Call of Duty, Halo. I haven't played Fortnite, but my last memories of Fortnite, PUBG, like all of the bigger games right now, it that the Halo multiplayer seems to me the most refined. That being said, I'm only speaking about the experience once you get into a game. The problems start when you open the menu though, and you go in and you want to play a game and you can't. There's no. You can't decide to do the their version of domination. You can't decide to play the one where you have to hold the ball for the certain amount of time. You just get to load in and it's just a
Yeah.
random game mode.
Yeah, and there's
That
only
part
like
kind of
three
sucks.
game types or something like that, and not a
It's
lot of
like
maps.
it's like the ball, you have domination thing, you have capture the flag, and then you have a variation of capture the flag where one team has a flag and the other team's trying to get it. If they get it and take it back to their base, then they win that round, and you just swap back and forth. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's just I think the game is good. It's just the people are what ruins it for
Yeah.
casual gamers like us because we don't like some of these kids. They have like all that free time to get good and stuff, and I don't have that kind of time. So it's like
I think
just made it
too.
very tough.
Yeah, and I
Very
think
tough.
too is like they have this ranked mode, and no one uses it. I feel like ranked mode is for the sweats. Like go to ranked mode if you want to like go real hard into a game, and if you want to just play like an average player, you're supposed to just go into public lobbies and have fun. And they just that element is so gone, and it sucks. It really does. Maybe it is because, like you're saying, where, you got work now, you don't have as much time, or I feel like I'm always working on some new project and stuff like that and trying to do something new. And I don't always have time to hop on a video game, or doing schoolwork or something. And now it's just, yeah, it could be that, but it's the new era of gaming, I generally feel. And it's sad to see because I miss the days where gaming was just to have fun and not just to have fun by being the best. you know? I remember the days where it was rare for you to see somebody really good at the game, like insanely good. And now it's like very common.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's
You're
like
like,
I miss the days where you'd be like playing Search and Destroy on I don't know, Black Ops 2, Call of Duty Ghost or whatever, and you'd run into a team that would just be they would have riot shields on their back and they would just be turtling all the way across the map, seeing if
oh,
they could make
yeah.
it all the way across before they got killed. Like that kind of stuff's gone. Like
Yeah.
all the goofiness, like people running around with like I think now you can there's a new thing on Warzone where people can run double riot shields and stuff. Like, oh, like it's top. It's bad. It's just bad. The spirit experience is so different now. Nobody's trying to goof off or have fun.
Yeah.
It's a I want to win. Which, I mean, hey, I'm not saying it's bad. Like, it's just a differing of opinions. Like,
Yeah. I
the whole
mean,
point of playing, like,
those
I
people
mean,
out
there's a
there
reason
could
they give
be
up.
those people out there, right? They could be in like drugs or something else, and instead
It
they're
could
playing video
be.
games. So it's a good outlet. I mean,
I mean, yeah, it's a good outlet, but I mean, there's a reason they give out a win at the end of the game, and so I mean, who am I to tell somebody they can't go super sweat? It just does hurt the experience for people who are just casually playing, just trying to like relax after work or something, and
yeah,
it's like can't really do that anymore. And that's something I will miss. And I think maybe, know, going back to a previous uh, podcast episode where we talked about the death of like campaign and cooperative gaming. Who knows? With how things are going, maybe we have a rebirth of that. You
Let's
just
hope
never
so.
know. Yes, we can hope. I mean, it was never my thing before, but at this point, I'd much rather have that than having to just play all these multiplayer games all the
Yeah,
time.
I have my fingers crossed that cooperative gaming were to see an uproar, because right now it's just a huge upset. I mean, if you want to put your best foot forward, there's never, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're generally trying to be a professional gamer and or streamer or whatever, at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with that. No matter how flooded the field can seem, go for your dreams, right? And dream big. But it's just sad to see that casual gaming is at the expense of all of this currently. Um, and
Well,
that,
there's a different there's a there's places and times just like this there is for anything. When a brand new game comes out and you want to be good at it, then get your gaming clan together and play with them, get sweaty, do whatever. Don't join the public fields and basically shit on everyone that's just trying to enjoy it.
yeah,
You know,
it's
like
easy to, yeah,
there's
because
better ways to do it.
yeah, it's like easy to win against people who aren't trying.
Game's brand new. We just opened it up. We want to see how good it is. We want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
We don't want to get kicked out of the field because you just,
That kind of goes on a good point there, Tyler, because when you look at this idea of okay, so now you step into the realm of a new gamer. How do new gamers live now, right? Like, how are we gonna get these kids or like individuals that are into it, like, right, like these teens that are into video gaming, if they can't even like they can't even learn, like, for example, my girlfriend wants to get into video games. She can't really get into video games as hard as anybody else now, because I'm afraid I have to watch what game she plays because she's not going to have a good time and she's going to be pushed away from games if she's over here trying to play Halo for the first time in the multiplayer and just getting crapped on by this like person trying to be a pro gamer. It
there's all the
absolutely
Yeah.
people,
ruins the her whole experience. So it
there's all the
makes
pro
me
gamers out
afraid.
there that are always like, "Oh yeah, you suck. You're ruining the game. Why are you in here? Get out of the game." Blah blah blah. Like, no,
Exactly.
just
Or they send like
let them be themselves and enjoy it.
exactly, or they send like toxic messages, and now
Yeah,
uh, I can't have my girlfriend experience multiplayer video games and get into video games like I am, because she's never played, and when she gets into it now, it's so sweaty and so insane that she can't
I'm thinking about
yeah.
all the kids that maybe you have a kid that's never had an Xbox, and this year you're fortunate enough to buy the Xbox. Your kid's first game console is 12, 13 years old, doesn't really know the field, and then he goes in there and starts playing and gets shit on and badmouthed and blah blah blah, and now that kid's like, am I really that bad? Because you know how we have all these issues with all how people handle emotions and all this crap,
Yeah.
and we have the people that get fueled off of just destroying someone else mentally for what reason we don't know. But it's just, when me and you were growing up, we had split screen in a basement, didn't have to worry about it as much because it wasn't on the internet.
Yeah.
And then we started getting into the internet and it was pure enjoyment. And now it's, let's get on the internet. You suck, I'm better than you. Get out of my league
Yeah.
or get
If
out of this game. You're
either get
ruining my
good or get
experience.
off.
Like, no, that's not how it should be.
I mean,
Yeah.
I will say, we are glossing over the fact that Xbox 360 Search and Destroy Party Chat was
Oh, it was
way
toxic.
worse than anything these kids will ever experience. Because you that things that would be said in that was so far off the charts. There
The
was no
amount of
rating
N
for that.
words I heard. I mean, and I'm not
Well,
condoning it. but
Oh, it was bad.
it
It was
was
bad.
partially
bad, but-
that's partially fault of the age group too, because okay, we all just started middle school at the same time we got that
Dude,
Xbox.
middle
When
school,
you're
yes.
in middle school, everything's funny,
yeah,
everything's a
you
joke.
kind of just
It
learn
doesn't matter
cursing.
what you just said. You just learn that okay, I'm gonna be a little bit of a dick once in a while, and someone's gonna be a dick to me. But there's so many people out there that just don't understand that you're just being a dick, or no, you're actually just affected that person's feelings, or all that kind of crap.
And by the way, I
We
do not
it, it's pushed way too far in that era of life, and that's when everything is just too sensitive.
and I do want to add in very quickly because I did say I was laughing right after I said a lot of people said the N word. I do not condone the N word.
You get these young kids and they think they're a bunch of hard asses. They can't
Yeah.
see you, they can't touch you. They're gonna talk all the shit they can. But
Yeah.
I guarantee if that person that just got called the N-word, if they walked into that house and seen that kid, you're the one that called me that, I guarantee you that kid's gonna turn white as a ghost and run and hide.
Yeah.
So why, if you're gonna act like that, why are you doing it
So
over the internet? Don't
yeah,
act like that at all.
I mean, let's preface also though that this was like the Xbox 360 was like basically the beginning of like multiplayer
yeah,
gaming
it was the
online
pinnacle
too.
Oh, yeah.
of
So
start of it.
like it's just like the Wild West, or it's just like and
You're always
people
going to
started
have the
first
people
coming
that
to
push the
America,
limits just to see what they can get away with, and that's exactly what happened.
You go in and you learn what's okay and what's not okay just by through experience. I mean, it's in a sense it's kind of testing boundaries, but it's also like there's really no such thing as a boundary on online. It's just kind of learn, hey, that's kind of dumb to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Because
now,
what's somebody gonna do? Like you could been in plenty of lobbies
and
back
back
in the
then
day
you
where
didn't
people
have
just
the report feature as well. And now you have like where you can report people for bullying or abusive behaviors. So people are a little bit more relaxed. Anytime I get a toxic message, I report the person.
oh,
Your best defense back then was kick them from the party. And if you weren't party leader or anything like that, all you could do is either mute your mic or leave.
Yeah.
And there was
Mute
just
them.
no way to no other way to do it.
Yeah.
Well, because back then, like nowadays, you can report people for what they say in voice chat because Xbox records all of it. So watch what you say. But
Right.
now, like or before, the only thing you would report people for was like if they sent you a message or if they sent you a voice message, like, things that you could like go back and see again, and you could report them for that stuff. But um, yeah, no, you could get away with pretty much anything back then. But
When that stuff first came out, I remember it because it was me and Justin either hanging out at my house or in his basement just playing. We just got on the 360 and we're experiencing all this stuff for the first time. And we're online in a live party chat, probably playing Call of Duty. I don't know. The things we heard, it was basically that moment when you look at each other and you're like, "Did he really just say that?"
Yeah.
We were like, "Oh my god, that just doesn't come out of my mouth. I can't believe I just heard that."
Mhm.
And here's another. We don't even know where he's at. Just sounds like a little kid just ripping this guy a new one, and we're just like, "Wow, why would you do that?"
Yeah. You get exposed to a lot of things and but so now video game, going back to your original point, Tyler, of like people who are new as well, is like, yeah, they're gonna have self-esteem issues now
Yeah,
with
I
this
mean,
idea of like,
there's no
hey,
reason
am I
to
just do
degrade
I suck
someone.
at games? And
no.
I will urge people this, just because again, there's no problem with trying to be the best and all this stuff, and putting your best foot forward and becoming a streamer and all. That's all good and that's all fine. But I will say this. Keep in mind that there are different playlists for a reason, right? There's a ranked mode for a reason for people like you. But in terms of casual, keep in mind that there's going to be new gamers. There's going to be new people. And some
Yeah.
toxic people out there are like, yeah, new gamers to crap on. Yeah. No, please. Like, you have to give... Just as you found that love for playing video games and gaming, that person's trying to discover that love and find love for that gaming. And rather than you, and essentially, quote unquote, gatekeeping this in a way, video games by just only being the best and only really allotting any time for people who are the best, you need to keep in mind that there are people trying to learn and be good at a game, or just not be good at it, but like have fun. And that's what you need to do, is just have fun. And if winning is the only thing that's fun for you,
I
just
think
play
the
rank mode.
easiest way to explain it, it's like finding your clique in high school. If you just came from middle school to high school, or you're moving from school to school and you're trying to find your friend group or the clique that you fit into, getting online playing games is like the same thing. There's people that are like, no, you can't be part of this group just because they think they're better than you, or they don't know you, they don't want anything to do with you, or obviously if you're the nerd, the people on the sports teams aren't going to talk to you because you're not going to play football after school or some
Yeah,
crap
this
like
isn't
that.
sports, guys.
You
Okay?
know, when you're on the online world, you're going to find the certain games you fit into, you're going to find the people that you like to play with, and you just have to know, just like in school, them over here talking them crap, you got to wash it out.
Yeah. And
Same thing.
and
Yeah.
if
Well,
you're looking to be on a sports team, be on the sports team, and just let the people play the regular old, outdoor handsy football or whatever the heck.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think you guys are making a lot of good points, and I think it makes me think that a lot of this, like obviously, it's kind of hard to get into gaming, at least Xbox and PlayStation side, but it makes me wonder if because of this, it's allowing the Switch to explode the way it has, and that's why the Switch has become such a
Perhaps.
huge console, like sales wise. Because if you think about it, like the Switch really doesn't have that crazy of a multiplayer. Most of the games are like very casual, and so there's like not the culture over on that side is like. I mean, the system is built for families, so it's just like super chill, and you can do your couch co-op. Like that's what most people do, and most people don't get on the online service to play against each other, and there's not many games that use it that well. So, like, I mean, if I was to recommend anything to a new time gamer, I would just get yourself a Switch first
Yeah.
and get Super Smash Bros. And just go hard on that, and then go from there.
Yeah.
Because if you jump straight into Call of Duty Vanguard, pray for you.
I definitely I agree with that, and on top of that, I would add to what you're saying is like, yeah, and if you're gonna play Xbox or PlayStation, just play the campaign. Play a game with a good campaign with a good story. Look at some of the reviews, or just yourself, if that game title looks cool to you. Play it, but play it for the campaign, and get yourself into gaming that way.
Mm.
Because if you're gonna start off with multiplayer, it's right now it's a sweat fest.
If you're
And
gonna start up in the multiplayer, I recommend you play against just bots for like
yeah,
If
at
you're gonna
least 2 weeks.
if
or
you're gonna start
Battlefield.
off in the multiplayer
Battlefield.
realm,
Oh, go ahead.
you
Go
better
ahead.
be an aggressive player
Yeah,
if that's where you're going to start. You walk in and you're just gonna have to understand. I'm going into a shithole. I'm going to be aggressive. You have to walk in with an attitude like that. But I also think it's another way of putting it is knowing your grounds, what you're walking into. Because I started console and then I moved on to PC, and I've noticed one of the bigger things that I did notice is when I was on console, you play with a lot of younger generation, and it's a lot of moms and dads, whatever, buying their kid an Xbox, and now the kid's in the basement, they're all alone. They think they're this big person downstairs and they could do what they want. Well, when I moved on to PC, I noticed kind of a different crowd. Now, I don't know, I'm assuming it's because of the investment you put in that more, let's call mature people would go into it. Building my computer, my Xbox or my PlayStation was a few $100s a kid or a parent could buy it and afford it for Christmas or something like that. My computer, I spent a lot more money on it. There's far less people that I know that play on PC, and most of them are in the more of the mature audience. So when you log on, you get more of a mature, more of a nicer background type people. They're not a bunch of jerk kids.
Yeah.
So it you also got to know what you're walking into too. If you're 14 years old, you just opened up your Xbox, there's probably, 100 other people in your grade or whatever that did the same thing. There's just more of that age group, more of that attitude, more of everything in that group. And then you
Yeah.
move up to something. It's just like walking outside of school for break and you go to lunch or whatever. There's all the different cliques. You walk into the wrong one, you kind of have to know what you're walking into. Same thing with gaming. You get into Xbox, you have to know what you're getting into. You get into PC, it's a completely different realm because it's more expensive, more mature people, in my opinion anyway, are
I
in that realm. And then, you go to the other one, 12, 13, 14, younger generations, they're all the ones that are like, how do I act? What am I going into? There's a little bit of confusion here and there. So it's
I
all over the
will
place. It's not as
I
controlled.
I will add two things to that too. Um, the sweatiest people I know are on PC, and the hackers and most the most hackers are from what PC, because there's no hacking going on console.
Okay, but you got to understand that's also a different area.
So I will say that, in terms of um, the most toxic that I did have in multiplayer and what's ruined Warzone has been this idea of cross generation with who? PC.
Oh
So
yeah,
I will say
cross
that.
platform is awful, man. Get it
Yeah.
out of here. We wanted it for so long. I just want to play with PlayStation. Get those PCers out of
Yeah,
here.
like, you guys
They
can stay
complain
in your
about
own
us.
island. Get the freak out of here.
Dude, they complain about us. We complain about them. The best thing is to just end the relationship.
Yeah, right,
Like a
Austin. Like
bad
anytime
boyfriend and
we
girlfriend.
know when we get like wrecked, we're like, that's a PC player, because like they whip their their mouse,
They can
and
whip.
they're
They can do
like,
like a 580 million spin and like just hit you, and it's like in point 0.2 seconds. Like you slow
meanwhile,
down the
I'm
camera, and
using
they
my
spun seven
thumb
times.
that like I
That's when you guys
sprained.
got to do the private match and you do your scheduled setups and everything. You don't just join a random match.
Well, that's how you play Warzone, and that's how you play multiplayer. I mean, if you're
You
trying to
can't turn off
play private
cross-platform.
matches, that's what you do, right? To
You,
f around and have fun in that regard.
you,
But if you're just
you
trying to
got to
play,
talk to my cousin Josh because they do planned events and everything, and they don't run into those problems. But when you just hop on and say, "Oh, I'm going to join this random match and play for a half hour," doesn't matter where you at or what platform you're on, you're going to see those problems
yeah, but
because
that's the thing.
that's where all the phishing people are, where they're trying to do everything bad. Is all
Well,
the
yeah,
random
but
things.
that's also the thing though, Tyler, is that in terms of like Warzone and in terms of multiplayer, not all multiplayers cross-platform, so you run into the issue of sweats, but not like hackers or extra sweaty. Like you're gonna get extra sweaty on PC, and then when like let's say for me and Austin and stuff like that, we normally can't always even play on the same schedule. Like that's almost near to impossible trying to get together. Like I don't know if you wanted to play, let's say with and try an event with the 6v6 with 12 people, it's near to impossible for us to do casually. You have
Well, and
to really
plus,
plan it.
if you want to get a like full 6-man squad or 4-man squad, whatever, depends on the game you're playing. And specifically, I'm talking specifically Vanguard multiplayer, Halo Infinite multiplayer, Cold Wars multiplayer. It penalizes you for the more people that you have in your group, in your party that are in the same, like are in the group, the more it penalizes you, and the sweatier the people are that it puts you up against. It's just a
Yeah,
fact. Like
it's insane.
it's not even like skill-based matchmaking is a thing. It also adds into the fact, oh, this team it thinks like their formula thinks that, oh, if you're running with the same people, like you have a group all in your own lobby and you then go into a multiplayer game and you have a full squad of 6, immediately think, oh, these people must be sweaty. We have to put them up against super sweaty people. So it
Yeah,
also formula they have right now decentivizes playing with your friends
yeah,
very heavily because
it's
once you get
actually
past 2 people, it's bad.
it's insane.
You can the
Absolutely
thing is
insane.
the sad thing is like I've tried it because well, we have a few friends that are really really good at the game. I was like, okay, maybe it's just bringing me to their level. I've tried playing with people that have like point 0.4 KDs, point 0.2 KDs. Like one of my friends, his girlfriend has an account, so he played on hers. Doesn't matter how good your KD or how bad your KD is. If you're in a squad of 6, you're in that party together, boom, it's putting you up against sweaty people.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
crazy. So that's the unfortunate reality of things. And I tell you what, you want to play a multiplayer that is relaxed and not crazy, go over to Battlefield. Battlefield is
oh,
the most fun sandboxy game, the less sweat game, because it's such a big player base and such a big lobby that it's just insane. And you win or lose, I have fun playing it. And if I were you guys, head over to that. But with that said, we're running a little over time. But whatever, it's a holiday episode. I hope you guys are having a wonderful holiday. From us to you guys, happy holidays. I hope your December went absolutely fantastic, and I hope the rest of the year going into the new year is absolutely fantastic as well. All the blessings and happiness to all of you who are listening. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast episode. Again, thank you for a wonderful year. We're nearing the end of the season. Again, in May, we end every season around the second week of May. So, or I believe it's like the first weekend of May, sorry. So we will say to you guys, thank you very much. And be ready, because in season 4, again, we're going to come back even more hard. Because why? Well, I mean, I'll be graduating, so I'm going to have hopefully a lot more time to sink into the podcast and all these things. So be ready for those. Be ready for all of that. And I can't wait for what's to come soon. So again, in May, just saying, because we're a couple months off, not too long, we will be ending this season 3, which so far, in my opinion, has been going really fun. We've been having a lot of fun topics. So if I were you guys and if you're new, hit that notification bell, subscribe. Also, if you're on YouTube, but if you're on YouTube, hey, we have other platforms. If you're on Spotify, hey, we have other platforms. Whichever platform you prefer, we're on 5 different platforms. The link is in the description. I'll list them out for you real quick. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube. We're available on all those platforms for free. So if I were you guys, please check us out. Please subscribe. Follow us over on our social media. We are getting things going, trying to figure that whole social media mess out. But if not, again, hit that notification bell. You will get notified anytime we post. So if I were you guys, please do that. And follow us over on our other platforms if you're listening on those other platforms. Because, again, you get notified when we have a new episode. We post every weekend for 3 weeks, every so often. So it'll be just for 3 weekends every month. So please check us out. Leave a comment down below. And as always, we love you.